In this episode, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on yet another brand new designer fragrance release for 2023. And this one is the latest addition to the Bad Boy line of fragrances by Carolina Herrera. And I've got a little bit of a confession to make, because up until now I've never ever owned any of the previous releases from this line, and that's because every time I've gone to buy one from the shop, I've tested it on my skin inside the shop and I've just been underwhelmed to the point where I couldn't bring myself to part with my hard-earned cash and basically pay upwards of £80 just to film a negative review. But spoiler alert, this one is a different story, and finally I get to own one and display a lightning bolt bottle in my fragrance collection. So to find out what's finally made me pull the trigger on this particular flanker, stay tuned to this episode of Mags Frags. Yes, hello again and welcome to this latest episode of Mags Frags, where it's the fragrance that's the star of the show. My name's Paul, and today's scent of the day is Bad Boy Extreme, which came out in February 2023, and it's the 6th release from this particular line, if you also count the collector's editions. And it's an amber fragrance for men, and it comes in an eau de parfum concentration. It's available in 3 sizes: a 50ml at around about £56, a 100ml size at around about £76 like this one, and a 150ml at £92. But I just went straight down the middle and picked up the 100ml variant. Okay, so into the presentation, and the box looks really stylish in this high gloss black and metallic gold colour scheme, but the downside is that it gets covered in fingerprints literally as soon as you've handled it for about 20 seconds. But on the front is the name of the fragrance in like a raised finish, and down at the bottom is the size and the concentration. At the top is the Carolina Herrera logo in gold, and the rest of the box is quite minimal, apart from at the bottom where you'll find all your product information, your barcode, your QR code and the batch code, which on this one is 23251. Yeah, the bottles in this line are super quirky and fun, and I've always admired how these look from afar, and I may even pick some of the other flankers up if I can find them cheap enough, because they do add a little bit of playfulness to the collection, and I think this colourway and the cobalt are my particular favourites from this line. You get a gold to black gradient with a little CH logo that's just under the sprayer, and you also get this, also the name Carolina Herrera stamped into the base plate. The atomizer is built into the top, and I'm not going to lie, it isn't the easiest and most comfortable fragrance to hold and to spray, and again it does collect a few fingerprints, so you may need to give it a wipe down after you've handled it. It delivers a really nice even big blast of juice, and overall the design on this isn't going to be for like everyone's taste, but I think it's pretty cool and quite fun and eye-catching. Okay, so into the note breakdown, and the top notes in this one are plum and bergamot. In the heart we've got cacao, Indian ginger, labdanum, clary sage, olibanum and apopanax. And the base notes are vetiver, patchouli, tonka beans, davana and incense. Okay, so from the initial spray of this, you're going to get some of the plum and the bergamot, but it's kind of a blink of the eye and you'll miss it kind of thing. And literally for the first minute or so, you will get a bit of fruity freshness, but almost straight away it turns quite dark and sweet. And it's the cacao and the tonka beans that produce the main accord, which is almost chocolatey with a rich and indulgent depth to it. Some people have described as picking up some nuttiness also in the opening, but for me it's that cacao note that I kind of pick up on the most. The olibanum and the opoponax resins add an ambery layer, which is very popular in lots of mainstream modern designer fragrances these days. So it will remind you of scents like Invictus Victory or even Dupe Homme Le Parfum, if you're familiar with how these smell. And they have what I describe as like a plasticine, like synthetic quality to them. And it's fairly difficult to find the perfect adjectives, but it's a resinous, oily sweetness that doesn't smell bad or anything like that. But it's got a plasticky aroma that's just lurking in the background. This is not all sweetness though, and the further that you go into the dry down, you'll start to pick up on other little nuances, including a mild smokiness from the incense, and also maybe a touch of earthiness as well from the vetiver and the patchouli. And compared to the other bad boy releases, I think this is the best one by far. And having said that, I did also think that the cobalt was really pleasant too when I smelled it, but it just didn't quite tip me over the edge. But I think this one's the most heavy hitting and masculine scent in the line. Yeah, this is a fairly thick and dense smelling fragrance that I'd say shines the most in cold weather conditions, preferably outdoors, or to wear as a nighttime fragrance or even a clubbing scent. It's too much to wear indoors during the day, so I'd strongly advise against wearing it as a work or office fragrance, because just wearing it at home today, just around the house, it's kind of started to really sit at the back of my throat and get on my nerves a little bit. So it is very sweet and resinous, and it will definitely become a bit sickly if you overspray it like I've done today, unfortunately. This is going to be best suited to younger guys, I'd say, in their 20s and early 30s, because it is quite loud, sweet and in your face. Yeah, so unlike the other bad boy fragrances that I've tried out in the past, this is a very big performer with a super strong projection for a scent that leans on the darker, sweeter side. I have literally not stopped getting constant wafts from it for the past 4 or 5 hours, and it's just been relentlessly attacking my nostrils to the point where I've had enough now and I need to go and get a shower after I've done this review. It's one that will definitely fill a room and become very annoying if you overspray it, so less is more with this one, which I can't believe I'm actually saying about a bad boy flanker. You're going to easily get 7 to 8 hours of longevity out of this one, so it does deliver on the extreme name, and I think this one would impress even the most hardened frag heads with its performance. Yes, so in summary, I'd say that this is a fairly mass appealing fragrance that will definitely get you noticed and bring in lots of compliments. It's got more of a character than the other ones in this line, but if you're someone who's starting to build a decent sized collection and you've managed to get your nose on a fair amount of fragrances, then it's highly likely that you'll have come across this scent DNA on more than one occasion. It's nothing groundbreaking or unique, but it is decent smelling and it performs really well, so it's well worth picking up if you can find it at discounters, or if you can get maybe 20-30% knocked off it. It's probably not one that I'll be reaching for that often, and it is more of a young guy's perfume, but I am happy that I can now display a lightning bolt in my collection finally, and it can take pride of place right on the front row here, I would say, so all you guys can gaze longingly at it and admire its beauty. So that's where its new home's going to be. Okay, so once again, that's about it for this latest episode, but coming up all next week, I'm going to be reviewing a different fragrance every day from a very quirky British brand that I've only just recently discovered, and after testing 6 of their fragrances out, I'm absolutely blown away by them, and I can't wait to kind of share them all with you next week, because they are super unique and interesting, and you definitely don't want to miss these reviews if you're on the lookout for something a little bit different and edgy. And as a little teaser, this is the bottle design of one of them, so if that's not quirky enough for you, then I don't know what is. So don't forget to tune in every day next week to find out all about them. And as always, guys, if you've got any value from this video and you found it useful, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel. It's also always great to hear your opinions, your thoughts and your critiques on all of the fragrances that feature in these reviews, so don't forget to keep your comments coming down in the comments section and keep me company. So once again, thank you very much for tuning into this latest episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye bye for now.